Number 1. YT-1300. The YT-1300 light freighter was one of the Corellian Engineering Corporation's freighter designs, and trust me, this baby revolutionized the entire galactic shipping industry. But we're not here to talk about just any YT-1300. We're diving into the most famous hunk of junk in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon. Originally designated YT-492727ZED, and formerly known as the Stellar Envoy, the Falcon has been through more names than a witness protection program participant. Conceived by a panel of CEC shipbuilding experts with help from Narrow Sonar, the YT series went on to become one of the most popular space transport hulls ever produced. The genius was in the modular design. Hull sections could be mass-produced and arranged into new configurations as needed without extensive retooling. The YT-1300 came in 3 flavors: port-mounted cockpit, starboard-mounted cockpit, and centrally mounted cockpit configurations. Our girl, the Falcon, rocks that distinctive offset cockpit that makes her instantly recognizable. Stretching to about 34.37 meters in length, this ship could haul 100 metric tons of cargo in its YT-130F freight configuration when she wasn't busy making the Kessel Run. Speaking of which, let's talk capabilities. The Millennium Falcon, with its Class 0.5 hyperdrive, is significantly faster than the stock YT-1300's Class 2.0 hyperdrive system. That hyperdrive is what allowed Han to make his famous Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs, though the ship's reliability, well, that's another story entirely. The Falcon's combat capabilities are nothing to sneeze at either. She's been retrofitted with quad laser cannons, concussion missile tubes, and enough surprises to keep Imperial forces guessing. These customizations, however, came at the price of reliability, and the Falcon ended up becoming a unique ship that required constant maintenance and a lot of love from her crew. Now, let's talk iconic moments. The Falcon burst onto screens in 1977 as Leia Organa's escape vessel in the original Star Wars film, and was the first vessel audiences saw when Star Wars premiered. From outrunning Star Destroyers at Tatooine to that legendary trench run at the Death Star where she saved Luke's bacon, this ship has been at the center of every major galactic event. Following Solo's death soon after, the Millennium Falcon became a resistance vessel piloted by its new owner, Rey. Throughout much of the First Order Resistance War, the old girl kept flying, participating in the Battle of Exegol, and proving that sometimes the fastest ship in the galaxy isn't about the specs. It's about the pilot and the heart they put into it. Want to command your own fleet? Hit that subscribe button and join the Rebel Alliance. New tactical breakdowns drop weekly, because knowing is half the battle. Number 2. T-65B. The T-65B X-Wing starfighter, also known as the T-65B Space Superiority Fighter, was a single-seat craft manufactured by Incom Corporation. If the Millennium Falcon is the hot rod of the Star Wars universe, the X-Wing is the fighter jet that changed everything. Here's a fun fact that'll blow your mind. The Incom Corporation had first designed the X-Wing for use by the Imperial Navy. That's right, the Empire almost had X-Wings, but when Incom realized what the Empire was really about, they had a change of heart. After receiving Imperial approval, production began on the new X-Wing line, only to be halted when key Incom personnel defected to the rebellion with the plans. The T-65B is 12.5 meters of pure starfighter perfection. Its 4 laser cannons can be fired singly, in pairs, or all at once, and each launcher can carry up to 3 proton torpedoes. But what really sets this baby apart are those S-foils. The distinctive strike foils, or S-foils, are opened and closed by powerful servo motors in the spacecraft. When those wings split into attack position, forming that iconic X shape, Imperial pilots knew they were in for a fight. In addition to deflector shields, the X-Wing possesses a titanium alloy armored hull, electronic countermeasures, and armored cockpit. Unlike its Imperial counterpart, the TIE fighter, X-Wings were built to keep their pilots alive. An inertial dampener protects the pilot from high-G maneuvers, while an anti-gravity repulsor lift provides for flight in planetary atmospheres. The X-Wing's finest hour? The Battle of Yavin, without question. Although many of the X-Wing pilots were killed, Skywalker was able to launch his proton torpedoes into the battle station's exhaust port, destroying the Death Star, and proving that sometimes one fighter can change the course of galactic history. Constantly hiding from Imperial detection, the rebellion cleverly resorted to building its T-65Bs in hidden dry docks and hangars, far from the prying eyes of Imperial spies. The X-Wing became more than just a fighter. It became a symbol of hope, a sign that the Empire could be challenged and beaten. Number 3. TIE/LN. The TIE/LN Space Superiority Starfighter, commonly referred to as the TIE/LN Starfighter. TIE/Line Starfighter, TIE Fighter, or TF, was the signature starfighter of the Galactic Empire. If you've ever wondered what that iconic screaming sound is, you're about to find out. The TIE Fighter represents Imperial design philosophy in a nutshell. Cheap, mass-produced, and utterly expendable. TIE fighters are depicted as fast, agile, yet fragile starfighters produced by CNR fleet systems for the Galactic Empire. No shields, no life support, no hyperdrive, just twin ion engines, strapped to a ball cockpit with some laser cannons for good measure. In 18, BBY, the newly formed CNR fleet systems, was greenlighted to begin mass assembly of the first exclusively Imperial starfighter, the Twin Ion Engine Line Edition starfighter, or simply TIE/LN. The Empire took the approach of quantity over quality to the extreme. Why build one expensive fighter when you could build a dozen cheap ones? At 7.24 meters in length, the TIE fighter is actually smaller than most people think. Like stormtroopers, TIE pilots had their own identification, such as DS-61-2, reducing them to numbers rather than names. A disadvantage of the fighter was its lack of deflector shields. In combat, pilots had to rely on the TIE/LN's maneuverability to avoid damage. Those hexagonal solar panels aren't just for show. They channel power directly to the engines, giving the TIE impressive speed and agility. What's unique about the TIE-LN is the sound. Its engines create that signature screech designed to inspire fear. That sound? Pure psychological warfare. The TIE fighter's role in the Empire was simple: overwhelm through numbers. The TIE-LNs were mass-produced in CNR fleet systems factories all over the Empire's territories. During the Battle of Yavin, waves of TIE fighters swarmed the attacking rebel forces. Sure, they got shot down by the dozen, but there were always more. Other Imperial pilots considered TIE fighter pilots to be suicidal due to how expendable the starfighters were. But here's the thing, that expendability was the point. The Empire had the resources to throw away pilots and fighters. It was a numbers game, and for a long time, the numbers were on their side. Number 4.090. The Tantive IV was a CR-90 Corvette in the service of the House of Organa. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you've already seen this ship in the most important scene in cinema history, that opening shot of A New Hope. The CR-90 Corvette, also known as the Corellian Corvette or Rebel Blockade Runner, was a small, multi-purpose capital ship manufactured by Corellian Engineering Corporation. At 150 meters long, these ships were the workhorses of the galaxy, serving everyone from diplomats to pirates. Technical specifications: engine unit, Gyrodyne Tur 58 high-output ion turbine engines, 11 in trireme configuration. Hyperdrive rating, Class 2.0, 11 engines. That's not a typo. They could accelerate the Corvette to 950 kilometers per hour in atmosphere. And with a Class 2 hyperdrive system, it could reach up to 81 megaparsecs per light year. But the CR-90 wasn't just about speed. Even before combat retrofitting, a line-standard CR-90 Corvette came with both dorsal and ventral dual turbolaser turrets. The rebels often added more firepower, with common configurations for combat-fitted Corvettes included mounting 6 dual turbolaser turrets. The Tantive IV's most famous moment? Being chased by the Devastator in the opening of A New Hope. Near the end of the battle, the Profundity was boarded by Darth Vader as he slaughtered many rebels. After securing the stolen schematics of the Death Star, the Tantive IV barely managed to launch from the Mon Calamari cruiser. Its near ubiquity made it a popular choice amongst rebels, pirates, and smugglers, earning it the nickname Blockade Runner for its ability to slip through Imperial nets. The CR-90 proved that sometimes the best capital ship is the one fast enough to avoid being a capital ship in a fight. Decades later, the vessel would play a crucial role during the war between the First Order and the Resistance when it took part in the climactic Battle of Exegol. Unfortunately, during the battle, the Tantive IV was destroyed by Darth Sidious' Force Lightning attack. Even legends must fall eventually. Love bounty hunting ships? Smash that notification bell to catch our upcoming Mandalorian tech breakdown. This is the way to stay updated. Number 5. Imperial-class Star Destroyer. The Imperial I-class. Star Destroyer was a model of Imperial-class Star Destroyer in the service of the Imperial Navy. When we talk about symbols of Imperial might, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats the sight of a Star Destroyer dropping out of hyperspace. At 1,600 meters of pure intimidation, a wedge-shaped capital ship, it bristled with weapons emplacements, assault troops, boarding craft, and TIE Fighter series starfighters. The Imperial-class wasn't just a warship, it was a mobile military base capable of subjugating entire star systems. Like the Venator and Victory-class ships that precede it, the Imperial-class is a multi-role capital ship combining the roles of a battleship, starfighter carrier, and troop ship. We're talking about 60 turbo lasers, 60 ion cannons, and enough firepower to perform base Delta Zero, complete planetary surface destruction. A prominent feature of the Imperial-class was its bridge tower, jutting up from the hull like a middle finger to anyone who dared oppose the Empire. The command bridge itself featured two elongated pits set below floor level, whose walls were lined with monitors and control panels. This design put the officers literally above the crew. Classic Imperial psychology. Building upon the strengths of the Jedi cruisers, the bigger Imperial-class vessels became one of the most instantly recognizable symbols of the Imperial might. At the peak of the Empire, over 25,000 Imperial Star Destroyers were in existence. Let that number sink in. 25,000. The Imperial-class had its greatest showing at the Battle of Endor, where dozens of these behemoths formed the Imperial fleet's backbone. But their most iconic moment? The opening of A New Hope, where the Devastator fills the entire screen, chasing down the Tantive IV. This iconic scene in Star Wars 1977, featuring the Imperial Star Destroyer's first appearance, where it pursues a Corellian Corvette, has been called a milestone in special effects history. Citizens weary of chaos and war cheered the sight of these giant dagger-shaped warships, while pirates and enslavers quailed at the thought of confronting them. The Imperial-class proved that sometimes overwhelming firepower is its own diplomatic solution. Number 6. RZ-1. The RZ-1 A-Wing Interceptor was a starfighter designed by the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War. If speed is life in a dogfight, then the A-Wing is immortal. One of the fastest mass-produced interceptors in the known galaxy, the A-Wing was even faster than the Imperial's TIE Interceptor, and that's saying something. At just 9.6 meters long, this wedge-shaped speed demon was built for one thing: hit and run attacks that left Imperial forces wondering what just happened. With the Jedi eradicated and the Delta 7 nearly impossible for non-Jedi to pilot, Quat designed a new starfighter, the R-22 A-Wing, in hopes the Galactic Empire would purchase it. But in typical Imperial fashion, they went with the cheaper option. Their loss became the Rebellion's gain. The A-Wing's Novaldex J-77 engines remained some of the most powerful sublight thrusters 2 decades after the A-Wing's creation. We're talking about a fighter that could outrun anything the Empire threw at it. But with great speed came great responsibility. The highly sensitive controls made the craft exceptionally difficult to handle. The A-Wing packed serious punch for its size. Its 4 laser cannons and concussion missiles gave pilots the firepower to take on much larger opponents. But the real weapon was speed. Its speed and maneuverability make it a difficult target to hit and allow it to fly circles around its opponents. The A-Wing's most legendary moment came at the Battle of Endor, when Arvel Krynid's damaged A-Wing crashed into the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer Executor, taking down a ship thousands of times its size. Sometimes, it's not about the size of the fighter in the fight, but the size of the fight in the fighter. A-Wings were flown by pilots of Kip's dozen to hunt smugglers before the squadron was decimated by Yuzun Vong pilots. Even decades after their introduction, A-Wings remained relevant, proving that good design never goes out of style. Number 7. MC-80. The MC-80. Star cruisers were capital ships used by the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War. When the Mon Calamari joined the rebellion, they didn't just bring hope. They brought the ships that could stand toe-to-toe with Star Destroyers. These immense vessels were a startling contrast to the angular-shaped Imperial-class Star Destroyers. While Imperial ships looked like weapons, Mon Cal cruisers looked like art. A Mon Calamari cruiser lacked hard angles and was covered with ovoid forms, suggesting an organic sculpture. At 1,200 meters long for the standard MC-80, these ships weren't quite as large as Imperial Star Destroyers, but what they lacked in size, they made up for in sophistication. While their armaments, which varied from ship to ship, were less than those found on the Galactic Empire's mile-long Star Destroyers, their shielding capability was far more advanced. The multiple backup shields and multiple shield generators ensured that a Calamarian cruiser could not only last in combat against more heavily armed opponents. The Mon Cals understood something the Empire didn't. Staying alive wins more battles than big guns. Like most Mon Calamari designs, each vessel was individually unique, which was frustrating for Rebel technicians. No 2 MC-80s were exactly alike, making maintenance a nightmare, but ensuring that Imperial forces could never quite predict their capabilities. The MC-80's greatest moment was at the Battle of Endor, where Home One served as the Alliance fleet's command ship. Admiral Akbar's tactical genius, combined with the MC-80's durability, helped turn the tide against the Imperial fleet. Shortly after the Battle of Endor, the Alliance transformed into the New Republic, with the MC-80 line continuing to be used within the New Republic Defense Fleet. Eventually, Home One was retired from service in the New Republic Fleet and was used by the Resistance. Even in retirement, these ships continued to serve the cause of freedom. Number 8. Firespray 31. The Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft, also known simply as a Firespray class patrol and attack craft, was a patrol ship manufactured by Quat Systems Engineering. But let's be real, when we talk about the Firespray, we're talking about one ship, Slave I. Slave I was a modified Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft used by the infamous Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett before the Clone Wars, and later his unaltered clone son, Boba Fett. This ship is 21.75 meters of pure intimidation, designed to strike fear into bounties across the galaxy. Jango Fett stole slave Eurus whilst undertaking a job on Uvo 4, a prison moon that Firespray attack craft were used to guard. From that moment on, this ship became synonymous with the galaxy's most feared bounty hunters. What made Slave I special wasn't just its unique vertical landing configuration, it was the modifications. During this time, the only overt weapon systems left over from its standard layout were the tail blaster cannons, but he still made sure to upgrade them. We're talking about concealed laser cannons, seismic charges that could shatter asteroids, and enough hidden weapons to make a Star Destroyer jealous. The interior of Slave I included a deck situated on a gyro system, allowing the occupants to stay upright no matter what position the ship was in. This rotating interior meant that whether Slave I was flying horizontally or standing vertically for landing, the crew stayed oriented. He also altered the previously police regulation cages into coffin-like cabinets that were less humane but better controlled his prisoners. When you're hunting the galaxy's most dangerous criminals, comfort takes a backseat to security. The Firespray's most iconic moment? The asteroid chase in Attack of the Clones, where Jango demonstrated the ship's incredible maneuverability against Obi-Wan's Jedi starfighter. Those seismic charges creating rings of blue destruction, pure cinematic gold. After Jango's death during the first Battle of Geonosis, the craft came into the possession of his son, Boba. Under Boba, Slave I became even more legendary, striking fear across the galaxy during the Imperial era. Interestingly, the Book of Boba Fett has given Fett's iconic Slave I ship a new canon name, simply Firespray, though to fans it'll always be Slave I, the ship that proved one bounty hunter could make the entire galaxy nervous. From the fastest freighter to the most feared patrol craft, these 8 ships defined Star Wars space combat. Each brought something unique to the saga: speed, firepower, intimidation, or just plain heart. They're more than just special effects. They're characters in their own right, each with stories that span decades of galactic history. Whether it's the Millennium Falcon making the Kessel Run, X-Wings attacking the Death Star, or Star Destroyers emerging from hyperspace, these ships didn't just transport our heroes, they became heroes themselves. And in a galaxy far, far away, sometimes the ship makes all the difference between victory and defeat. May the Force be with you, and your hyperdrive never fail when you need it most.